Good morning, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another in our series of interviews we're calling 10 Minutes With. And today we'll be talking with Rod Nelson, who is co-founder and CEO of Geoverse for 10 minutes. My name is Iain Gillott. I'm the president of IGR. And this series of interviews is some we're doing with various leaders from the wireless, mobile, and digital infrastructure industries to get their views, their opinions, trying to keep it casual and light. I've known Rod for many years. In fact, he and I saw each other in November and were commenting how well we have aged in the last couple of decades.
Yeah, indeed.
So let's kick off, Rod. Easy questions. The first one is, who are you and what do you do?
Well, thanks, Iain, and good morning, good afternoon to everyone, as you said. And as you mentioned, I'm co-founder and CEO of Geoverse. And at Geoverse, we are a specialty operator for the enterprise. You can think of us as a specialty mobile network operator focused on the unique needs of the enterprise and private LTE and 5G networks.
Okay, so how do you expand on that a little bit? What value do you provide? What's the typical customer profile for you guys?
Yeah, we have customers ranging across a number of vertical segments, which across all of those, basically, we're solving two problems that most building owners or enterprise customers have today. Number one, we're a neutral host service. So we're creating a network that can host the subscribers of the tier one operators and improve the smartphone experience for occupants of the building in an office environment, or guests in a hotel, visitors in a concert or a theater setting, shoppers in retail settings. So across a whole variety of real estate, everyone wants a fantastic experience for their smartphones. But at the same time, we also provide a private network for the building owner or enterprise where they can use the power of cellular wireless for their back office business critical applications.
Okay, so let's take some examples. Let's say I've got a commercial real estate office space. So I could be using your solution for security cameras, etc. But also, let's say let's say there's a law firm in there. I go visit the law firm. I could use my device inside the building as well.
Correct, right. That's what we call neutral host, being able to provide service to the customers of all the tier one operators.
Okay. So how do you connect to them? What's the magic behind the in the background?
So we do several different things. You know, in the most current form, right, we are installing multi-operator DAS solutions or small cell solutions. But we think the real takeoff point here for where this makes sense for everyone is when we can build a single frequency CBRS network that is connected to the carriers. And one of the unique values of Geoverse is the fact that we are part of a broader company that has existing relationships with all the tier one providers. In fact, one of our sister organizations is probably the largest neutral host provider of roaming services to all the tier ones in the United States today. So we can leverage those relationships to make our networks available to the tier ones, and we're already interconnected with them.
Okay. So if I'm an enterprise, then what do I get on premises? I mean, obviously you've got a CBRS network there. Anything else that I'm going to need, or what are you going to bring in there when you deploy?
Yeah, we offer, you know, in terms of the cellular core network that would drive a private LTE network, we have a couple of options. We have a, you know, sort of cloud-based EPC offering that you would simply subscribe your radio network to. But we also have what we call our edge offering, which can be located on-premise and offers our customers the very best latency and, you know, the best security in terms of being able to hand over the enterprise data at the point of origination. So then it's, within the domain of the enterprise, and they can manage that user data like they would off of any other wired Ethernet or Wi-Fi network. And that's been, more popular. Most enterprise customers want that secure handoff of data. So in more cases than not, we're deploying an edge EPC on site for the customer.
Okay. Now, you and I have been around long enough that when an EPC took up an entire data center, and I know how big your on-site EPC is. So do you want to describe the physical description of it?
Yeah, that's excellent point, right? And so the basic appliance that we deliver today takes up 3 units of rack space. So that's 19 inches wide and about that tall. And that's capable of serving something on the neighborhood of 20,000 users. So quite big by enterprise standards, but tiny by the carrier standards of the old days.
Yeah. So when you said the majority of the customers are taking that on-premise approach, what would you say the main driver is for doing that versus taking the cloud?
Security of the data.
Okay.
So the ability for the enterprise to take custody or to be managing their user traffic at the point of origination. So instead of backhauling it to a carrier data center or through an internet service, they can put that right onto their corporate WAN at that location. And I think that's the number one driver today. I think another is to reduce the backhaul. So if you have a lot of video surveillance and your monitoring station is on site at the security desk or something, it doesn't make any sense at all to take that traffic back to a cloud data center and then back to the enterprise to the control station. So that's another driver. And I think as we deploy 5G, then latency will be a stronger driver when we get to sort of millisecond level latency applications. Then the on-site core network will be important for that too.
Right. So obviously we hear a lot about 5G. How close are we to having a 5G enterprise in-building solution from your perspective?
Yeah, I think that'll start to happen this year in 2020. We're working with suppliers who are preparing the radio equipment. We should be able to do trials in the back half of the year is our plan.
Okay.
And I think with that, we'll probably then come to market early 2021.
Right. So obviously there's a lot of people talking CBRS right now, a lot of activity. What would you say makes Geoverse unique, differentiates yourself here from other folks who are approaching this market as well?
Yeah, I think the key to that lies in a couple of proprietary technology platforms that we've created at Geoverse to really help with the problem of scaling private enterprise LTE and 5G networks. The first one we call GeoCore, which is a networking platform that encompasses this EPC, these different options, cloud-based, edge-based EPCs. But more importantly, it also establishes this pre-existing relationship with the tier 1 operators. Mm-hmm. And we think it's going to be important for there to be a trusted party between the enterprise-funded network and the cellular ecosystem, and GeoCore is that interface platform there. So that's number one. And secondly, alongside that, we have a platform called GeoTrade, where we would be managing the business side of that networking relationship. So looking after things like service level agreements, the consumption of traffic, the performance level of that traffic on the network, and being able to manage the business side of whether we're delivering the service appropriately to the enterprise and, in a neutral host environment, that we're delivering the services to the carriers appropriately. So those are some proprietary tech that we've done at Geoverse that we think is very unique in the industry.
Good. Okay. So last question. I know you and I have been on panels before, and I always ask this question at the end. what keeps you awake at night, and not so much, the kids. Somebody answered the other day, their wife snoring, but not the kids barking, so kids shouting or the dog barking, whatever. But from a business perspective,
Yeah.
what worries you that we're not addressing as an industry that could come back and hurt us in a couple of years?
Well, I am very, very bullish on the opportunity that CBRS is enabling with the sort of democratization of the deployment of cellular-based wireless networks. We at Geoverse believe that is huge potential. And so we're really, one of the things we're worried about is, can we really, make our solution simple enough, repeatable enough, that it can be deployed in a scale that's been unheard of. Mm-hmm. Right? So we're looking for the day of, there being hundreds of thousands of private cellular networks in the US, maybe even millions of private networks. And, that's an environment that, we're not approaching. We're probably just 20 or 30,000 DAS networks in the United States. So this scale is, just tremendous from where we are. So, we're working very hard at Geoverse to figure out how do we cross that chasm and to be able to support and deploy, that number of networks. So that's one of the things we're really focused on.
So it's a good problem to have then. It's not a
it comes from a very fundamentally bullish outlook on the opportunity here.
Yeah. All right. Well, great. Well, Rod, thanks very much. For those watching today, 10 Minutes With has been with Rod Nelson, who is CEO and co-founder of Geoverse. Rod, thanks very much.
Thank you, Iain. Goodbye.
Thanks.